On the news this afternoon, federal government disburses 493 billion naira to 5 million households. U.S. envoy minister address visa policy changes, urge compliance. Plus, correctional service sacks 15 officers, demotes 59 in major sweep. Good afternoon, it's the news at 3 on Rstv. I am Catherine Ago. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. You can watch Rstv News live on YouTube and Facebook on Rstv Online. You can subscribe or click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now to the rest of the news. Rivers State Administrator Vice Admiral Retired Ibok Ete Ekwe Ibas has pledged to support the activities of the Nigerian Rural Electrification Agency in providing electricity in underserved communities in the state. Vice Admiral Ibas made the remarks during a godspeed visit to him by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Abba Abubakar Aliyu and his delegation at Government House in Port Harcourt. Tamuno Barabe Ibulubo has the rest of the report.
For the administrator of Rivers State, rural electrification goes beyond providing light to the people. It also included igniting hope, fostering innovation, and empowering communities so that they can build a self-reliant future. Vice Admiral Ebas told his guests that since assuming office, his administration has prioritized security, infrastructure development, and economic recovery as key pillars of Rivers State's transformation in education, healthcare delivery, agricultural productivity, and microeconomic enterprise.
Critical component of this agenda is rural electrification. It directly impacts education, healthcare delivery, agricultural productivity, and micro-enterprise growth. And so, through collaboration with agencies such as yours, and bridge the energy access gaps for rural communities, stimulate small-scale, and enable our people to harness new. Happy to note that you already have carried out mapping and survey of the various areas state. But I want to point out that you must consider the unique challenges of providing electricity in riverine areas which are faced by difficult. So I'm particularly keen on initiatives that align with our local government and which seeks to make our 23 local government areas hubs of productive activities and sustainable growth.
Vice Admiral Ebas praised the agency for its unwavering commitment to advancing Nigeria's development agenda by promoting electricity access to unserved populations. He said the agency's innovative and sustainable solutions aligns closely with the goals of his administration.
Certainly, our visit today is timely and significant. It aligns with our administration's commitment to rural transformation, infrastructure, and inclusive economic all parts of the state. The Rural Education Agency has over the years demonstrated an unwavering commitment to advancing an agenda. So our mandate to promote access to electricity for unserved and underserved communities resonates strongly with the aspirations of this administration under the ongoing emergency governance program. We particularly commend your agency for its work in expanding electricity access to rural households, visions through innovative and sustainable solutions. Deploying the Rural Electrification Fund to support productive off-grid energy projects that drive local economic growth.
In his address, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Rural Electrification Agency, Abba Abubakar Aliyu, said they provide access to reliable electric power supply for rural dwellers irrespective of where they live and what they do. Tamuno Barabi Ibulubo, Rstv News.
No fewer than 5 million households have received 493 billion naira disbursed by the federal government as part of its social protection measures. Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Yusuf Tanko Sununu, who stated these did not indicate the period during which the cash was made available. He said the ministry has a budget of over 500 billion naira captured under the service-wide vote for the National and Social Investment Program. The minister said the fund is expected to be deployed for the implementation of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, conditional cash transfer, and power training and farmer money. Sununu spoke in Abuja at a briefing on sustainable response to address the humanitarian gap arising from the partial suspension of World Food Programme (WFP) operation in the Northeast and Northwest. The minister said the funds are disbursed based on the National Social Register and reflects the report of the Multidimensional Poverty Index in Nigeria. He spoke of a plan to give 300,000 naira to 21,000 smallholder farmers across the country through the Government Enterprises and Empowerment Program, GEEP. GEEP will be a short to long-term loan with no collateral and interest-free. The minister also unveiled plans for the rollout of the grants for vulnerable groups, GVG. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation on Friday disclosed that federal government has disbursed the second tranche of the 35,000 naira wage award arrears to federal workers. In a statement issued in Abuja and signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Bawa Mokwa, the OAGF clarified that the latest payment is part of the ongoing efforts to offset the 5-month wage award arrears owed to federal government employees. It further explained that the initial tranche, representing 1 month, had already been paid earlier in the year, leaving 3-month monthly tranches to complete the payment cycle. The OAGF also addressed public concerns and speculation suggesting the federal government may have abandoned the arrears. The wage award, which was part of palliative package negotiated in 2023 following the removal of fuel subsidy, is being paid in monthly installments of 35,000 naira over 5 months. According to the OAGF, the federal government remains committed to completing the payments in installments. The Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board, in a sweeping disciplinary action aimed at reinforcing professionalism and accountability, has approved sanctions against dozens of officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service. The move followed the conclusion of a review into 231 disciplinary cases brought before the board. A total of 15 personnel were dismissed for serious misconduct and violations of service regulations, while 59 officers were demoted after being found guilty of breaching professional standards. Additionally, 42 personnel received official warning letters as corrective measures. The board also approved the compulsory retirement of 8 officers, exonerated 16 personnel, and placed 7 others on suspension, pending the outcome of ongoing investigations. In a particularly severe case, 1 officer was not only suspended but also recommended for prosecution by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and 1 other officer has his rank reversed and was directed to refund all salaries and benefits earned while holding the position improperly. The public relations officer for the NCOS, Umar Abubakar, who disclosed these details in a statement, said the sanctions were based on recommendations from the board's Disciplinary and General Purpose Committee after extensive investigations. Umar noted that the board, under the leadership of Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubemi Tunji Ojo, reiterated its commitment to maintaining high ethical and professional standards across all cadres. While soliciting cooperation, the Comptroller General of Corrections, Sylvester Nwakuche, assured the public that disciplinary actions will continue to be handled fairly in strict compliance with existing rules and procedures. The United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Richard Mills, and Minister of Information and National Orientation, Idris Mohammed, on Friday addressed the recent changes in the U.S. visa policies and jointly called for increased awareness and compliance among Nigerian citizens. The U.S. had earlier imposed tighter visa restrictions on Nigerians. Speaking during his press briefing in Abuja, Mills clarified that the new visa measures announced by the U.S. mission are not punitive, but rather part of global efforts to tighten security, enhance service delivery, and ensure compliance with U.S. immigration laws. The envoy underscores the enduring and strategic relationship between the two countries, emphasizing that the U.S. continues to welcome Nigerians for study, business, tourism, medical visits, and family reunions, but with clear expectation that visitors respect visa regulations. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. Still to come after the break, Nairobi air ambulance crashes into residential area, claims 6 lives. And in sports, Super Falcons goalkeeper Nadozie, coach Madugu shortlisted for 2025 Ballon d'Or awards. These and more after the break. Stay tuned.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happen with good laws,
Proper funding,
Training.
And cooperation.
if it happen,
If it happens.
If it happens.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Welcome back. You're still watching Rstv News at 3. Now to the rest of our news stories. The Nigeria Customs Service says it has resolved the delay experienced by importers in transmitting product certificates for Form M and the Standard Organization of Nigeria's Conformity Assessment Program required for pre-arrival assessment reports processing on the B-Odogwu platform. A statement by the National Public Relations Officer of the service, Abdullahi Mewada, acknowledged that the disruption followed technical integration challenges that emerged during onboarding the Standard Organization of Nigeria on the B-Odogwu platform. He added that the system-related issues temporarily impacted traders' ability to accurately capture their Form N, BAAR, and single goods declaration. According to him, the specific challenges encountered included limited space for trader names, incorrect data formatting, missing 10-digit product codes, ambiguous error prompts, and difficulties linking the tax identification number to traders' profiles. The NCS spokesperson highlighted that in a bid to continuously support stakeholders, the NCS has rolled out nationwide implementation of the B-Odogwu platform across zones A, B, C, and D, with trained officers on the ground to provide hands-on technical assistance to traders and licensed agents. Mayweather emphasized that the NCS is willing to confirm that both agencies have successfully resolved the transmission issues and that the service remains committed to transparency, collaboration, and stakeholder engagement. A plane belonging to an air ambulance service provider has crashed in a residential area just outside Kenya's capital, killing at least 6 people. Amref flying doctors said that the mid-sized jet, a Cessna Citation XLS, took off from an airport in Nairobi and was heading to the territory of Somaliland, where it crashed. The service provider did not provide the number of casualties or a possible cause, saying in a statement that it was cooperating fully with the relevant aviation authorities and emergency response team to establish the facts surrounding the situation. The plane crashed in the residential area of Mihoko in Kiambu County, which shares a border with Nairobi. A local official, Kiambu County Commissioner Henry Wafula, told reporters at the scene that 4 people on board were killed in the crash, while 2 other victims were inside a house into which the plane crashed. The Kenya Red Cross said that its rescue team had headed to the crash scene in Kiambu, a county that shares a border with Nairobi. Earlier, the Kenya Red Cross had said that the aircraft had crashed was an helicopter. According to local official and the aircraft's owner, they had found body parts scattered around the site. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's controversial plans for a new military push in the Gaza Strip has raised warning from the army leadership, opposition from hostage families, and concerns that more Palestinians will be killed. They also risk isolating this country even further. In a meeting of the Security Cabinet that lasted 10 hours, ministers approved proposals for the takeover of Gaza City, which is likely to be the first phase for the Israeli military to assume full control of Gaza, as Netanyahu says it is his intention. A statement released by his office did not use the word occupation, but effectively that is what the plan means. It is not clear when the operations will start, as the military will have to call up thousands of reservists as hosted after serving multiple times, and allow for the forced evacuation of residents from an area where around 800,000 Palestinians live. The plans will spark fresh condemnation from countries which have expressed anger over the situation in Gaza and urged Israel to end the war, which started as a response to the Hamas attack on Israel on 7th October 2023. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has described the decision as wrong and called on Israel to reconsider it immediately. But international pressure is unlikely to force Netanyahu to change his course. Israeli leaders said Hamas for now is not interested in negotiating, as in their view, the group is feeling emboldened, a view that seems to have shared by Trump's administration, which has not expressed opposition to Israel's plans. A mudslide has buried 2 people in Kabushima's Ira City who were rescued and hospitalized. According to the Fire and Disaster Management Agency, evacuation advisory were issued to more than 360,000 residents in Kagoshima and neighboring Miyazaki. Transport was heavily disrupted, and with trains, buses, and dozens of flights cancelled. The Japan Meteorological Agency forecast for the rain and thunderstorms. Authorities warned that there is growing risk of disaster and urged residents in the region to take early precautions. And in entertainment, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has written to the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi-San, and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, demanding the investigation and possible prosecution of Fuji maestro King Wasiu Ayinde Marshall, also known as Kwam 1, for alleged breach of a standard air safety protocol. Adanim Imo has more on these and other entertainment stories.
NCAA also issued an advisory to members of airline operators of Nigeria to immediately place the musician, who is popularly known as Kwam 1 and K1 The Ultimate, on a no-fly list, pending the outcome of official investigations. A person put on no-fly ban cannot travel by air during the period. Singer and filmmaker Abdul Rashid Bello, aka JJ Skills action drama Hakeem Seeking Justice premiere, has witnessed the presence of Nollywood heavyweights and cast members including Bolanle Ninolowo, Deyemi Okanlawon, Zubi Michael, Scales and Liko Rose. The much anticipated action drama premiered at Filmhouse Cinemas Lagos with a star-studded turnout and energetic moments that set the tone for its official cinema release on August 1st. Veteran singer and rapper Seyi Sodimo has named Wande Cole as the most talented Nigerian Afrobeat artist. According to him, Wande Cole played pivotal role in the global success of Afrobeats by influencing the likes of Wizkid and Davido. He added that it was Wande Cole's style that took Afrobeats to the new sound.
Love me jeje, love me tender. Love me jeje, love me tender. Love me jeje, love me tender. You're my sugar, my honey, my tender love.
Embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who is set to be sentenced on October 3rd for his conviction on prostitution-related charges, is pursuing a pardon from United States President Donald Trump. Trump has, however, indicated bluntly that he's unlikely to grant a pardon to the 55-year-old Combs. A New York jury found Combs guilty last month of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years imprisonment. Combs was acquitted of racketeering and sex trafficking charges after a marathon trial in which he was accused of harrowing abuse.
Yo, I'm internationally known on the microphone. I got it all, but I really need a wife at home. I don't really like the zone, never spend the night alone. I got a few you would like the but chicks that romance me don't tickle my fancy. Tiffany Nancy, that's not what my plans be. Need a girl like
Adanim Imo, Rstv Entertainment News.
And in sports, Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Naduzi and the team's head coach Justin Madugu have been nominated for the Women's Yashin Trophy Award and the Women's Johan Cruyff Trophy at the year's Ballon d'Or. Joyce Eramasara tells us more.
Nadozi's nomination places her as one of the best women's goalkeepers in the world, while Madugu is contending for the Best Women's Coach award. The Keepers Award is named after former Soviet Union goalkeeper Liv Yashin. In the nominations released by Ballon d'Or on Thursday, Nadozi will contend with 4 other nominees for the award, which will be handed out on September 22nd at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris, France. Head coach of Nigeria's senior female cricket team, Leke Oyede, is working with 2 coaches from Zimbabwe ahead of the 2026 ICC Women's World Cup Africa qualifiers, which will take place in Namibia from August 28th to September 7th. The female Yellow Greens are intensifying their preparations at a closed camp in Lagos, where they are also expected to be joined by another South African coach before they depart for Namibia. The team began training last month in Benin City, Edo State, with 22 players before Oyede dropped 4 ahead of the final lap in Lagos. Nigeria will battle Zimbabwe, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Namibia, Rwanda and Sierra Leone at the qualifiers. The top 2 teams from the Africa qualifiers will advance to the global qualifiers, which will be played later in the year. The 2026 Women's T20 World Cup will be played in England. Canadian teenage sensation Victoria Mboko on Friday completed a dream run by winning the National Bank Open title in Montreal, battling a wrist injury and coming back from a set-down to beat former world number 1 Naomi Osaka 2-6, 6-4 and 6-1 in the final. The 18-year-old Mboko, who started the year outside the top 300 and now jumps from 85th to 25th in the world, claims her first WTA Tour title and joins Faye Oban 1969 and Bianca Andreescu 2019 as the only Canadians to win their home events in the Open era. The decisive moment came in the 3rd set as Mboko took a 3-1 lead after saving 4 break points in a pivotal 4th game. Sudan head coach Kwesi Appiah has stated that his team will be ready for their next Group D encounter against the home-based Super Eagles. Appiah's side played a 1-1 draw against Congo in their first Group D match at the 2024 African Nations Championships on Tuesday. The Sudanese were on track for victory before the Congolese equalized late to secure a point. The Group D encounter will take place at the Aman Stadium, Zanzibar, next Tuesday. Anthony Joshua and boxing promoter Eddie Heron are establishing a new football agency with the ambitious goal of attracting top professional footballers like Cristiano Ronaldo. The venture, driven by Joshua's vision and backed by Heron's Matchroom Sports, aims to offer a comprehensive service for footballers covering everything from transfers and sponsorships to lifestyle management and long-term career planning. Joyce Eramasara, Rstv Sports News.
Do you love and care about Rebel State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. With that, we conclude the news at 3. I am Catherine Ago. Many thanks for watching and have a lovely weekend.
Rstv.